go. I've got this old 6-inch canvas that I wasn't really very keen on, and I thought I'd have a bit of fun and just experiment a little bit. So I have put white around the edges, and I've mixed up a little cup here, and it has got this nice sapphire blue, it's got this neon pink, this one is Payne's grey, it has got some pearl white, it has got some blue topaz, it has got some turquoise, it has also got a little bit of this deco art amethyst and some neon purple in there, and then I've got another deco art purple, then this one's got some silicone in. So I've just layered up this little cup, and I thought just for an experiment I would just sort of put it across the middle a little bit and move it around a bit and we'll see what happens really. So I didn't have a particular plan, I just thought we'd see how it goes. And I can see there's a little bit of fluff in there, so I'll just get that bit of fluff out. So it is just an experiment really. So I've just sort of layered this up, and with it just having the one paint that has got some silicone in, I thought it would give an interesting effect. So I thought I would just sort of layer it and move it about a bit. But I thought I'd just have it sort of going through the centre, and then I can always put my stick through it if I want to do that. But there wasn't a particular plan. I just thought the colours would be nice together. And that was really as far as my thoughts went. Because you've got to have a try with different things. And I can see that one paint that has that little bit of silicone in, you can see those little bubbles coming up. So from there I was just really going to tilt it a little bit to see what happens. You never quite know, because I'd like it to go over the edge. I don't really want to, I guess I'll tilt it that way so as I don't get my fingers in the paint that goes over the edge actually. But those colours do look really nice. And I do prefer a straight line that goes over the edge rather than a wavy line. I'll spin this around and then I can tilt it towards you. But the colours look nice. I suppose I'd like to just on that edge just get it a little bit kind of straighter, maybe at the top and the bottom. And I do like those stripes. And I suppose I just wanted to experiment with an old canvas that I wasn't doing anything with because I wasn't so keen on it. And then if I like that kind of result, then I can always try that on a bigger canvas with the same kind of idea. interesting. I mean, it's got a lovely shimmer. I think before I tilt any more, I will have a look at it and just see what I could make from it. It does look quite nice like that. I don't know whether I would have wanted these edges to be straighter, or if I put a stick through them, they will be obviously less straight. I do quite like them being straight. I think to get them straight, I would have to tip it all the way down to tip that bit off. But those do add some bits of interest to it. I'll put a torch on there because there's the silicone in one of the paints and I can see these little sections coming up. Yeah. Now I'm happy with that, and I will show you why. Because I've got into the habit now of when these little dots come up, these bits of paint here on the side, I just love to pick up a bit of that colour and dot it in these white dots. It just makes it interesting. I just last week had some paint left over, and I had a painting where all these little dots started to come up from the silicone. I'm not a big fan of silicone because of the big dots it makes. So last week when that happened, I did just pick up all these little bits and I just put them in the dots and I just thought it was quite effective, really. It turned something that I wasn't so keen on into something really interesting. And even in this cup, there's little bits that I can just dot in here and there. Yeah, so it's gone from being something that was a little bit of an experiment just to try, not knowing what I was going to really be doing, but thought I would just have a little play around. It's gone from that into being something a bit more creative. I quite like it. It just gives it something different, really. Just move it out of the way of these other bits. Oh, look at that. Look at that lovely pink bit in there. I don't know if you can see it. I will spin you up. Spin this around. This beautiful pink bit there. That will be great fun to just pick up and just lay in. And I just like the way it makes these little swirls. So these little white dots, they do tend to take time and keep appearing over the next few hours. But anywhere I see a little dot, I'm just going to add in a little bit of this paint, really. You can see a little dot will form there. have done another painting today. I've got some gold and green there, which I'm not going to add because that would be too much for contrast, but I think that's interesting. So I will let that dry. I'll perhaps bring you in for a close-up, but I probably will have to add more to it over time. But I think that's quite interesting, just something a little bit different. That's the great thing about these 6-inch canvases, you can just play around with them and it's good fun. So I shall bring you down for a close-up. So here is this little 6-inch canvas. It's had time to set a little bit. I just think it's really sweet. I just really like it. For a little bit of an experiment and a play around. It is quite cute. This area at the top reminds me a little bit of mountains, really. Lovely colours through there. A nice shimmer from the metallics. And then these areas where I've just added in these colours that have just dripped off of the canvas. I just love the way they all swirl and make nice patterns and colours, and it does fill in any kind of white holes that appears from the silicone. I think it's from stretching it, and I think that those white holes seem to appear, but I just think it's really sweet. I always like these little 6-inch canvases. I'm always surprised how much detail you can get on them. And actually I find it difficult to recreate that on a larger canvas. It's never quite as nice. So I will let you see that when that is dry. But at the moment it just looks lovely. And all these lovely little swirly bits that have dripped off. It's just nice to be able to incorporate those into something. So I will show you that when that is dry. Bye for now. So here is this little 6-inch canvas. It's had about 3 days to dry now, and it is completely dry. And I think it's turned out really well. I do like the colours and the shimmer that it has from the metallic paints. These little round experimental areas are quite interesting, with the neon pink paint as well. I really love this top area. I would say that that is my favourite bit. It does look a little bit like a landscape, and I do particularly like the way that the paint comes over the edge of the canvas. So I was thinking that as this has turned out so interestingly, and it was just a little experiment, that I think I would quite like to do something very similar on a 40cm deep edge canvas, and without any silicone. I think I would quite like it just to stretch and perhaps be a little bit stripy and not have those round cells. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.